Hello and welcome to the Overly Animated Podcast, where we take animation seriously, provide fan-oriented and analytic discussions on a variety of animated shows, movies, and anime, currently featuring Steven Universe, Star vs. Force Evil, and Rick and Morty, among others. I'm Dylan Hysen, and today I'm joined by Delaney Stovall.
Hey, y'all.
April Collins.
Hello.
And Alex Bonilla.
Hola.
Today, Delaney, April, Alex, and I will be discussing the recent Star vs. the Forces of Evil news about the upcoming Battle for Mewni TV movie that will be airing in July. We finally have a date on when Star will return. We are very excited about that. The Overly Animated Podcast loves Star. We talk about every new episode of Star, and we're trying to have regular discussions since then. You can check us out at overlyanimated.com. You can subscribe to us on iTunes by going to overlyanimated.com/iTunes. And you can check out all of our past Star discussions here. Here we're going to get into what the news is, what our reactions are, and start to speculate a little bit about what will be to come in the Battle for Mewni. So let's get into the basics of this. So there is a press release out on comicbook.com, which is an interesting place for a Star press release, but that announces the Battle for Mewni. So I've seen The Battle for Mewni and I've seen Battle for Mewni. It's depending on if you look at the press release or the YouTube video. So I'm unclear on that. Either way, I don't think it's the name of an episode. I think it's just the name Disney gave to the manufactured special. It'll be airing on July 15th. I guess premiering on TV, at 11 a.m., but it's going to be the thing that they did in February where it's like on the app and then you can watch it at any time, and they're going to repeat it on TV on Disney XD. It's 2 hours. We have since learned that this is the beginning of season 3 and not either the movie or a thing at the end of the season 2 production order. I've saw both those thrown around. These are, as said by Darren Nefsey, the first 4 episodes of season 3, and the rest of season 3 will be in the fall. Now, it's worth noting that what 4 episodes means is not clear with Star, because Star has variable episode length. When we say 4 episodes, we probably mean 4 half-hour chunks, because Star episodes consist of an A and a B, except if it's a half-hour-long special episode. I don't think that when Darren says it's 4 episodes, she means it's 4 half-hour special episodes, because I think a typical Star episode can be episode 1 and episode 2. Really, they're independent segments kind of stitched together. So this could be 8 episodes in 2 hours, or it could be 4, 5, 6, or 7. I'm not clear on that. So that's my interpretation. Any immediate disagreement there? No. Okay. Yeah. So there's
no telling.
No.
Yeah.
I'm going to guess 4 half hours just because of the magnitude of the plot circumstances, but we'll see.
Right. You think that there'd be at least 1 half hour within this. Yeah, I agree. But,
They also could do it like how Steven just did on Cartoon Network, how they just did Steven Universe with it doesn't really matter the way they're gonna air it. They might just when they're slamming it all together. So on TV, I would assume very little commercial breaks. The app doesn't usually have a lot of ads, so I'm just curious to see when the cards will play and if they will. They might just throw it all together anyway.
Yeah.
That's true.
So there's 2 good points here. One is that this is very similar to what Steven Universe just did with Wanted, what Cartoon Network did with it, which is, it's really just a 4 episode arc that they tied into a TV movie. But Delaney brings up an interesting point that when Cartoon Network aired Wanted, they put commercial breaks in weird places. So you almost didn't know where the episode started and ended. They had episode cards up. So they were definitely independent events, but they separated 2 and 3, but not 1 and 2. So yeah, who knows how Disney will air it. But the important part is this is just the first 4 production-wise episodes of season 3. Titled The Battle for Mewni, the TV movie follows Star as she returns to her home dimension of Mewni, where she discovers that magic is disappearing throughout the kingdom. Star must dig deep and challenge arch-nemesis Ludo in an effort to save her family and kingdom. There's also a teaser out, which focuses on young Moon. Okay. At first, I want to get what your reactions were to all this news. I know this came out a little bit ago and we didn't immediately get a thing on it. But what did you think when you saw all of this, Delaney?
Well, one, it was rhymy creepy, and I'm oh god,
Rhymy,
red flag.
Hashtag rhymy creepy. Jeez, yeah.
Rhymy creepy.
Yeah.
So I always like stuff like that. I always think that's neat. It's just cool. I actually didn't I've watched it multiple times, but honestly, until I read Alex's article, I didn't realize it was Moon, which is weird because I love her. She's my favorite. I thought, and also to me, it sounds more like Eclipse. I don't really know what's going on. Because obviously young Moon makes more sense, but I don't know, the voice for me just it just seemed and also it's really dark, creepy stuff. So I was thinking more it was Eclipse. I don't know. I just think it's neat. I'm excited to see the flashback, I'm assuming flashbacks, and I'm really excited about it. It's gonna be dark. We're clearly taking a turn.
Yeah. So you're not alone in the confusion at first. I think the whole Star fandom, Pat, was is this young Moon or is this Eclipse? That was the immediate reaction. But the definitive evidence, I think, is the Moon's wand being shown in the teaser.
The thing is, I do think there is some they do show. I did know it was her wand. I knew that, obviously. I think some of it, too, could be we're also just seeing flashes. Yeah. Granted, you might be about to say something, but I'm just 100% wrong. I don't know how much definitive stuff we've heard, but we've talked about this before with things we've seen in Star 2. Things aren't necessarily actually connected, and this is a teaser. And we're going to talk about more in what Alex writes in his article about flashbacks and stuff, but what bits and pieces actually fit together. They were just this is going to be creepy, let's just scare everybody and just throw stuff together. So there's no telling what actually links to what. But it's definitely 100% obviously Moon's wand. I just don't know if that's necessarily who's talking or what else is going on.
Interesting point. So we're going to be referring to Alex, who's on here, his article, which you can find Star, Moon, and Darkness, breaking down SVTOE's season 3 premiere teaser. You can find that on overlyanimated.com/category/blog. We're going to go through all of this, but if you want a reference in front of you as we talk about this. So, I definitely saw some is this Eclipse reactions at first, and it definitely seems like it's consensus Moon now. We also see a still of Moon. She has a young Moon. We don't know what young Moon looks like, but she's an identifying cheek mark. Alex, so
is she in the painting?
Okay, let's go. I don't know. So let's go to Alex on this. So, I think either the two, I think surface level, this teaser is, presenting this as Moon. Is there any chance this is obfuscation and then this is Eclipse?
Well, I wouldn't discount the theory that the person who's actually, chanting the spell is Eclipse, because we do know that Eclipse has been associated with dark magic in other episodes. What we see, actually on the screen, the wand and the princess at the end, I think we're almost 100% that both of those are Moon. But we could see Eclipse brought into this. Maybe Eclipse teaches Moon that spell or something like that. So I would say that there is a possibility that Eclipse does make an appearance at some point in this event.
Yeah, you have to remember that a lot of these teasers are intentionally misleading. That a lot of trailers, Steven Universe is notorious for having trailers that intentionally mislead you. So I don't know I don't know how we can be 100% sure that the weird placed shot of probably Moon at the end is Moon. I agree that's her, but I think the biggest thing that Eclipse could factor in is her talking. But as we'll get into, probably this is just all from a Moon flashback episode. So we'll factor that in. But yeah, there's really nothing. It's if we're gonna say definitive things about this 15-second teaser, then it's we have to dig for it. So it's not obvious. Yeah.
Yeah.
Delaney, what was your reaction to the fact that we're getting this movie event in July and the rest of season 3 in the fall?
I'm so excited. When I was I think I saw it first, you shared it on our Tumblr, and I get notifications, and I was Star movie, and I got in my Skype chat with my other friends, and I was guys, there's gonna be a Star movie, and then I was so excited, and then in the fall, I think we were expecting Star to come back in the summer, and then for a little bit at least, we didn't know anything for sure, right?
Yeah,
and
they announced the summer for season 3, so this is a little bit of a change. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
I'm not super I'm not disappointed. I don't think it's really exciting that I think to me the movie is more important and more exciting because it's stuff doing bit again. I'm always about the viewing experience. I love stuff like this, and I'm really and also that like doing big things like this like is a really good thing for the show, and like we're taking a direction. Like I love the Kim Possible TV movies. Like that is like my favorite thing like ever. Like that's good stuff. And so obviously this isn't gonna be quite that level of like like it's not like Kim Possible so the drama level, but like just doing stuff like this could lead to an actual TV movie and stuff like that. Like I'm just really excited about it. It coming in the fall, I think I need something to watch when I'm at school, so like I'm not that upset about it. And like I think it's good to have this. Like if they're moving it, at least we have the movie, and I think this is a good move.
Okay, cool. Positive reaction from Delaney. April, what was your reaction both to the fact that it's the movie and then the rest in the fall, and to like the contents of what we got about what's to come in Battle for Mewni?
I'm really excited. I'm with Delaney. I'm super excited, and I think this kind of helps address, because I mean they said that Star was coming back in the summer, so this is Star coming back in the summer.
Technically true, yeah.
It's not wrong.
I'm like, it's technically true. They're not wrong. So like I don't know if maybe this was what they had planned all along, kind of thing. Maybe they're sort of testing the waters. It's funny that you mentioned, Delaney mentioned the whole Kim Possible, like TV movies and things like that, because that's kind of like what I was getting from it too. I was like, oh, like it's like they're testing the waters of that idea, and trying to help develop Star into something that much more than it already is. Cause I'm sure all of us agree, and everyone who listens, Star is one of the better made, animated shows on, out on TV. And so it's like, oh, hey, like we have something good. Let's find a way to drum up that. And I mean, it's like a teaser too. It's kind of how like Steven Universe does like Steven Bombs and things like that. And then we go on hiatus for who knows how long, but it's nice because we have an end date. Like it's, we have this in the summer.
Yeah. Unlike Cartoon Network, Steven Universe, they say wanted on Memorial Day and then no further. Yeah.
And then that's it. So I'm really excited because Moon is, as Dylan knows, Moon's one of my favorite characters. And so I'm really hoping Team Moon. Yes, queen. But so I'm really hoping that this is, it's focused a lot on Moon and Star's sort of relationship. And I'm hoping that this trailer isn't deceptive, and they're like, oh, we're going to take all of these clips from one episode and put them together and make it seem like this is the entire event. So
which I think is probably what's going on. But yeah,
I have a feeling, but
And I just want to add one thing about the scheduling. Also, when you compare this to what happened with Starbury, that they dumped almost all of season 2 into 1 month, and you barely had any time to let the episode simmer, talk about things like Baby and Running with Scissors. So to have just these 4 episodes in one chunk and then just leave a nice period of time to let all that happen before we jump into the rest of the season, I'd much prefer if they followed that pattern than what they did with February.
Yeah. Although not clear that they're not going to pull a September, or no, wait, that's not true. Startember. Yeah, not clear that they're not going to pull that with the rest of season 3. So we should hold off on celebrating that. But do I take it by that you are you had a positive reaction to this, Alex?
Yes, I saw it and I gave a fist pump and went, yeah. Yes. So yeah, I'm just happy that it looks like we are heading in more plot driven, at least for this chunk of episodes, because that's always what appealed most to me, like the lore. And so we'd wander away from that for a lot of episodes, but definitely by the end of season 2, we were focusing more on that. So I'm glad to see that that's the direction we're taking to at least start this season as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I was very excited by this news. I've regained my excitement for Steven Universe with Wanted, but still I think Star is probably the animated show I'm most excited for on TV, and I'd very much like to see it come back soon. I was disappointed that we're not getting all of season 3 in the summer. I guess I'll present the negative side of the reaction here, because in general I'm very pro like the crew of the show's intent and anti-network interference. And I think an arbitrary grouping of 4 episodes as a TV movie, and then the rest of the season a few months later is network interference in the intended airing of the show. Like it seems like
I have a counter to that.
Okay, well let me finish presenting my side, and then I think like Darren seems on board. But it's from what she said. I assume when they were making the show that they just intended all the episodes to be either aired weekly or at least in the same time frame. And I don't really like this network, Cartoon Network thing of like grouping all the episodes and putting it as a movie like they did with Wanted. I don't like that move, but that's fine. The bigger issue is the arbitrary several month break between part of the season. It's a similar problem with Rick and Morty, I think. That's going on right now. So that's my only negative reaction to anything here. Mostly it's of course excitement at the stuff we've got though. What's your counter, Delaney?
So I was considering the event, the finale of season 2, and we kind of had this shift in direction. Like we were heading towards this, all of season 2, but like we did things started to get darker. We started to get more plot heavy. I think there's a really good chance that these 4 episodes aren't like, this isn't completely random. I do think there's a really good chance that like this is a little bit more, with reason than the way they do things on Cartoon Network with Steven Universe. I think there's a really, we might be resolving a really big thing in the beginning of season 3. We're doing it in these 4 episodes, and then things start to kind of settle down and we're shifting a little bit. So I feel like I'm expecting, I'm not expecting a big cliffhanger at the end of this TV movie. I'm expecting the Battle for Mewni. I'm expecting this, blow up resolution of everything that season 2 is leading into. Like that's what I think. I think that's what we're getting, and I think that makes more sense. Obviously we don't know. Maybe we'll find out more, but we're gonna watch it and we'll find out. But I think there's a really good chance that that's what it is, because especially considering how things left it in season 2 and just how this show is in general, maybe we're going for a super shift, like Miraculous Ladybug keeps promising us, and I am severely in doubt. But if they're, this conflict, it could be resolved in 4 episodes if they're really big chunks of stuff, and there's no telling what all is going to happen. And then we kind of it's a little bit it chills out just a little bit, we start to simmer down. Yeah,
Delaney, you present a good point here in that we don't know how arbitrary of a line this is. It is very possible. I think you were alluding to the possibility that at the end of season 2 we're wow, is this a change in the status quo? Is this temporary? Maybe they resolve the change and we go back to Earth after the special. Maybe it's a natural line to draw. I will give Disney the benefit of the doubt for now on that. Either way, I am pretty confident that Darren did not intend there to be a several month gap between the 4 episodes 4 and 5 of the season. But yeah, it might not.
Well, I definitely don't I definitely think that is true, that wasn't the intention. But there's still the good, we have we had things like that in Avatar. We had things the Day of Black Sun. We have these big events and then they settle out. Stuff like that.
Yeah, so it's possible this is a natural narrative line to draw. And we will assume that is so and revisit the criticism later. Yeah. It's either way, I don't love it, but it's clearly much less of an issue if it's if it's a natural line. Yeah. So okay, that regardless, we need to get into the speculation aspect of what's to come here. So
that wasn't speculation? God.
No, not yet. Well, yeah, you kind of alluded to one big speculation elements already, but one of the big I think dichotomy of this announcement is, on one hand, we have this description of the Battle of Mewni, which I'll again read. It follows Star as she returns to her home dimension of Mewni, where she discovers that magic is disappearing throughout the kingdom. Star must dig deep and challenge Archnemesis Ludo in an effort to save her family and kingdom. And on the other hand, we have this teaser, which is all about Moon. The description is all about Star. So, what gives here?
What is the truth?
What is the truth? Yeah. So I'm going to quickly table that question. I want to go around the horn again and say, what aspect are we being presented that you're most looking forward to seeing when we get to see the Battle of Mewni, Delaney?
Okay. Creepy, rhymey spell.
Creepy rhymey spell? Okay. Yeah.
Creepy rhymey spell. I'm assuming this might be one of the things you're really looking forward to, Dylan. We talked about a lot during season 2 is this dark star. And Moon, and kind of that also repeating the sins of the father, this thing of she's going, Star is they're repeating history. She is now facing the battle that her mother faced. And this idea that, Star is paving her own way, but, will she be tempted by this dark magic that Moon obviously, had to use to get rid of Toffee? And, what Star will do. And I guess that's what I'm excited about, is like this dark Star, like, and we've seen bits and pieces of that in season 2. Yeah. And I'm just, that's what I'm excited about.
Yeah, so you'd love the tie-in of these two elements together to continue our dark Star plotline. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. What about you, April? What specifically jumps out to you?
I think I agree with Delaney in the fact that I like this, and I guess you as well, the approaching, I guess, dark Star. I think it would be really nice to see the show sort of take a different tone, considering the gravity of the situations at hand. So I'm looking forward to a potential shift.
A shift in tone. Interesting. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That potentially Just Friends promised us, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Alex, what jumps out to you?
Well, actually, Moon mostly, because I just want to see more of her, and especially
yes, agree.
More Moon.
Yeah, more Moon, more backstory. Also, we saw Ludo in there in the middle, and I kind of want to see as well, like, what motives Ludo Toffee has, because we're still, like, we're starting season 3, and we're still kind of unclear on what his motives are, what he actually wants. So I do want to see, like, how his interactions with Moon or with Star at least give us a little insight into what's in his mind.
Is it even Ludo?
Yeah.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, we'll that'll be probably our leading topic from the trailer. Yeah, I have a much simpler answer here. I just want to see Star herself. Like, I'm just excited to see Star on the screen again. I'd love to see Dark Star. I'd love to see Young Moon, but just give me Star back on TV, and I don't care what happens. So, not the show, and also specifically the character. So, let's go back to this dichotomy between the two elements of that were being presented in Battle for Mewni. The description doesn't even mention Moon. The teaser is all about Moon. I think the level 1 interpretation of this, but probably is the most logical one, is that there will be one of the 4 episodes, which is a Moon and Toffee flashback episode, and the other 3 episodes are about Star on Mewni in the present. Alex, was that the interpretation you had when you were breaking down the trailer?
Yeah, I figured that we're going to have to see some form of flashback to get that version of Moon in there. And also, just because we know that in the season 2 finale, it was Moon who took Star away. So I'm gonna guess it's probably like in the form of a story that Moon tells Star in order to prepare her for facing Toffee Ludo.
Yeah.
Or Star like finally demanding answers, like finally give me tell me everything. Like, what's the deal?
Yeah. What do you think? What do you think of the prospect of 1 Moon flashback episode, 3 Star episodes, Delaney?
Well, I never really like breaking things up like that, especially I don't know, I think I don't know, flashback episodes just, I love them, but then when it's just a flashback episode, I'm kind of like, why did you do this? I mean, it makes sense. I would be happier with flashbacks as they are needed, kind of like what they did in Korra with, granted, we did have the literal flashback episode. So, we had, we'd have flashes, and then we had oh no, this is just all of it. So, I guess I would just more pieces, though it does make sense, we're gonna have, we're obviously gonna have, the battle, the moment, so that's gonna be, basically 1 episode. If, assuming, 4 30-minute blocks. I'm probably just gonna have to get over myself and be yeah, there's gonna be a flashback episode. I'm fine with it. It's I just want the info. I don't really care how they give it to me. I just want it. Yeah. But
so it could be 2 flashback episodes. It could be interwoven, within an episode. Yeah. It doesn't have to be a separate thing. I assume that we won't just start an episode and it starts with Young Moon. I assume it'll be back 20 years ago, Moon says to start.
There'll be some kind of leading into it.
Yeah. So
granted, I did love in Harry Potter when they do this the 3 brothers. So I'm cool with stuff like that. That's always neat to me.
Yeah, I what comes to mind is the storm in Avatar. We see that woven in that. That's I think that's possible. Yeah, April, would you be excited by just a Moon flashback episode?
Oh yeah, I would be okay with that. But also not just because of my own personal preferences, but it also sort of makes sense because I think that Moon has a very big role in what's currently happening, at least to Star. And so I think it's time for explanation, and the best way is a flashback episode. So
yeah.
But I'm on board. And I think it's like unavoidable at this point too.
Yeah.
Also, a common theme that's been through season 2 is that, as Delaney said, that Star wants to do things differently from Moon. So, but in order for her to treat the fight differently, first she needs to know how Moon dealt with it the first time. So in that sense, we are going to need a flashback episode, if only to contrast the actions between the two princesses.
Yeah, I think it's a great thematic point. Star is just as much in the dark with her mom as we are, so she needs to know. So for Star's sake, let's permit this flashback episode. No, I'm just very excited by the very brief still of young Moon presented. We don't even see her face; we see like the lower fifth of her face and her arm. Give me young Moon. Like, let's go. Let's do this Toffee Moon flashback. Like, is it a romance? Is it a betrayal allies thing? Like, what's going on here? Let's do it. I'm ready.
That sound, I just feel that so much.
Yeah. Look, I anticipate all of us are against the romance thing, but it would. It's we'll talk about that, but okay, let's again table the Moon things for a second. I think the most definitive thing presented in the trailer is the shot of Ludo. We see Ludo presumably attacking Mewni, I guess, with his animal army. The thing that's definitive is that Ludo doesn't have the possession eyes of with Toffee. It seems like this is Ludo acting on his own accord. And I think, is that what you interpreted, Alex?
Well, honestly, we also know that Toffee has been growing stronger in his magic over time as the magic has been in the hand wand. So I also feel that it's actually more of a possibility that the magic has become so strong that he doesn't even need to possess him, that he can just control his thoughts subconsciously at some point. So I wouldn't, even though Ludo doesn't have the possession eyes, I feel that he wouldn't do that on his own accord unless Toffee is still exerting some control over him in some way.
Yeah, it could also be in a middle ground of either he's directly controlling his thoughts, maybe he's like a voice in his head, like a subtle influence on Ludo.
Kind of how like he was talking to the wand, or the wand talked to him.
Yeah, which was the start of that. Maybe we're going back to that, but more powerful.
Or Toffee has just promised him something.
Yeah, so it could just be an indirect, an influence that Ludo's still acting on his own will.
Granted, it seems kind of like that seems like the least reasonable, just because how Ludo, how bitter he is about Toffees, but there's no telling though.
Yeah, I think generally I'm this is the part I'm least excited for in the teaser, but the thing that I like about this is that I was pretty dissatisfied with the portrayal of Toffee at the end of season 2 as just being Ludo just being a vehicle for Toffee, and Toffee being an all-consuming bad. Now we have Ludo acting on his potentially somewhat of his own accord again, and we see Toffee in a flashback acting maybe more like Toffee. So I'm very excited by that prospect of resolving this dissatisfaction I had at the end of the season, I think. I don't know. What's any reaction to Ludo, Delaney?
I mean, I don't like him, so I was like, oh great, it's Ludo. I mean, I guess I'm excited to see Ludo doing things, just because he gets on my nerves, and at least when he's doing something, he's mildly less annoying. But I don't know, we'll just have to see. I'm kind of hoping more for a Ludo redemption or something. Ludo is not an interesting villain. He sucks. He is the worst. It's he's just terrible.
Ludo redemption, yes.
Yeah, Ludo, please. Yeah. I don't just do something with him that isn't him just being evil because he's bad at it. So let's find it's just especially if we're trying to go for this darker kind of more serious note and themes with Star, having this actual cartoon villain, it just doesn't, it's not gonna jive with what we're doing. It's like having Dr. Draken on I can't even think of I don't know, it's just ridiculous. We need to have a villain who can actually do something like Toffee. Toffee's straight up actually terrifying, and he's sleazy and gross, so there's more going on with that than Ludo. So kind of hope Ludo Redemption, I don't know, do something with him, or at least make him like better at being bad. I don't know, just something.
He seems more competent in this image, so maybe. So Alex, any thoughts as to why Ludo and or Toffee might be attacking Mewni proper?
Well, we do know that there was a war with the monsters, so we know that Toffee probably has some grudge with Mewni over that. And
they're tired of corn.
Or maybe Toffee wants all the corn. But yeah, we could have something like that. And also, because the synopsis talks about the magic draining, so it could also just be a case of maybe him what I don't want is that it just ends up being the simple, I want to take over the kingdom without any real motivations behind it. But that's all. That would be the superficial way. But hopefully there's something a bit deeper, I would hope, tied to maybe the war or something in his past, maybe something to do with Moon.
Yeah, heavily agree with that.
There could be something in the castle, too. Like, there's just no telling what's... yeah, just there's no telling what's going on with, like, the magic and stuff. And, like, I feel like there's a really good chance that, like Mewni Castle itself could be like the center of right, Mewni's like the center of like the magical universe or whatever, right? Like it could be like the castle could be literally it.
Okay, yes, that ties into the Fritz. Yeah. A thought I had was that maybe Star and Moon are hidden in the castle, and that they're attacking the castle to find Star and Moon.
Or they think that they're hidden in the castle.
Either they think
they're trying to attack the.
Yeah, either they think that, or they are. They're facing away from the castle in this image, but who knows?
Ludo could also be a distraction.
Okay, yeah, and maybe
That's
Toffee just regained form. We don't think he hasn't, right? But I don't know.
I don't think so. And the only reason why I feel that way is because Ludo still has the piece of the wand in his hand. So
yeah,
and doesn't he have like a missing finger too? I
would assume
like
that
Toffee's missing finger.
Yeah, that's the big point. I assume that Toffee's main motivation is to get his finger back, like he says in season 2. So, I would assume the attack on Mewni, the battle for Mewni, is in an effort to find Star, who has the finger. Like that's my level 1 interpretation of what's going on here.
Oh yeah, it's in her room.
Yeah. I don't know. Did she bring it with her?
It's in her closet of secrets.
Well, I would assume so. Like she brought her closet of secrets to Earth. I assume it just kind of goes with her.
Well, do we know that the closet of secrets came to Earth? Well, yeah, she came back with her.
Yeah, she destroyed her part of the house, so she got rid of it. So yeah, I guess we don't know if it could have disappeared into the ether or whatever, but it's not in with Marco anymore, probably.
Right.
Yeah.
Are we sure?
I mean, we're not sure of anything. It happened very fast, but it's the part of the house is gone in that heartbreaking shot from Star Crushed.
I assume she packed everything up. I don't think she just blew up
that part of the house.
She literally blew it up, but I don't mean it's with her. It's her stuff.
She probably has access to it. I mean, she's magic, so
right. Yeah. It's in the Void Bank or something.
Yeah,
the Void Bank.
Yeah. It's so Ludo's factoring in here. We mentioned the Magic Fritz. This was a undercurrent to season 2. That's kind of a pun. And so we know that magic is on the Fritz, and that it's going out across the universe. I don't right? I don't think so. And
the dimensions.
Yeah. Do we
all time and space?
Have we used the word universe in Star? I don't even remember.
I don't think so.
Probably in one of the Father Time episodes.
Yeah. Either Father Time or Math Magic. I would watch that. Yeah. So this Fritz is an interesting point. Star probably related to the Fritz, the Magic High Commission, the fact that
also Rip,
Rip what?
Rip the Magic Council.
Oh yeah.
Rip.
Oh yeah. Okay. I forgot that they're kind of dead, right? So
they're kind of dead. All of them.
So Moon took them. Though.
Moon's still alive.
Moon's still alive, and Moon has the rest of them, but they're not.
That is super creepy. I need I need that resolved ASAP.
Right. So will Moon bring them back to life or something? Yeah.
Yeah. What's
but I guess Moon and Glossurk are still alive. And
Glossurk.
Will we see Glossurk? Yeah. No. There's a more pressing character. Well, I wonder what we'll see, but let's ignore him for now. And so any thoughts about the Fritz that come first, that come right to mind, Alex, when you were breaking down the trailer?
Well, in the trailer, in the article that I wrote, I noted that the shots of the Ludo wand and the Star wand with the green hue kind of happen back to back in the trailer. So I feel like they are like emphasizing the connection between the two. My personal theory is that somehow Ludo's hand wand is like seeking its other half to be complete. And maybe somehow that the fact that they're separated is affecting the Fritz, or it's just that Toffee has so much power over magic that he's able to suck it out and maybe use that as a way to lure Star and Moon out or make them weaker. But I just noticed that there was an obvious contrast between the two in the short 2 seconds that we got of the wands in the trailer.
Yeah, I always expected throughout season 2 that one of the wands was seeking the other wand, but we never really got anything about that. It just seems like such a natural thing, to a natural place to go with the story. Delaney, I know you're really interested I think you and April both interested in the Fritz. So like, Delaney, what do you think, any immediate thoughts as to how the Fritz could play into the rest of the Battle for Mewni stuff?
Well, I think this is all like my theory that I've been talking about for like ever. About a few months probably, right? But yeah, yes, like Alex was saying about like the wand, like the Star's wand and the piece that Ludo has and how they glow green, and like I've been talking about the glow to me, like, and it's been like we see it, the green glow, like this negative emotion, this kind of evil, this darkness, and like when Star like is being bad, when she's upset, when she's angry, we saw her blow up at the concert, and like this is all related to that, like the green wand glow and like this disconnect. And I think how this play, and we know like Star is causing the Fritz, like they've said this, I think, right? Like they're trying to find Star, right?
Yeah,
like,
we've had that come up. That Star's at least related or something, yeah.
There's something. But like to me, like what I think it is that. So all of this has to do with like we've been going through this in season 2. Like Star's like she's in this like struggle with herself, and also like again this ties to Dark Star, and just like the wand is literally broken, and this kind of represents like the two halves of Star, like the Star we know and this Dark Star, and kind of like this all tying back together. And so and also Star is just so tremendously powerful as demonstrated in Baby and like just constantly. And so I think like she is literally draining like the magic, and I think that also has to do with like these two, like the wand is broken and she's like split in essence, like in like just emotionally and stuff too. Like she's kind of draining a lot of the magic, like double. And so I think how this will play out is like when finally the wands are like reunited, and then like Star like either goes completely dark, she like fuses like both of them together or whatever, like she masters the dark and the light or whatever the crap they're gonna do. Like this like fixes the Fritz, and like and also like the wands are back together and Star is like new Star or whatever.
So, one thing I want to say, I don't know what's going on with the Fritz. I'm very confident that it's related to the assertions that Star is super powerful, that we've gotten specifically in Baby and in other episodes. That's like my big contribution. April, what is your Fritz theory?
So my Fritz theory is that because you remember how Rhombus was like, oh yeah, Star's the reason for this, and he didn't know why. So my theory is that the glitch was caused when Star destroyed her wand, and that Toffee knew that would happen whenever he asked her to do it. And so he knew like the magic glitch would essentially not only like weaken Star, but like all of magic. So not just her, but like people in the High Commission, which they then become easier to overthrow, and then he can rule everything. So how this will be resolved, I don't know, but that's my theory.
Yeah, I like the connection to the events of season 1. Yeah.
Yeah.
The shows do this a lot where they're like, this thing that happens at the end of the first season, like we didn't know it, but it caused all these effects. Yeah. That makes sense. So.
Well, it wouldn't shock me if Toffee has been having Toffee be that villain who has planned everything out and knows everything that makes sense. That jives. That's okay.
I agree. That also makes sense.
It plays into his character. It just plays into him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
yeah,
that's kind of how that's my theory behind it. The glitch is caused by Star from destroying her wand. Toffee knew it was going to happen, which is why he asked her to do it. And then, but she, obviously she wouldn't know, and maybe other people would know, but they haven't really alluded to that. But it's easier to take over the world if magic's gone crazy. So
yeah, all very possible. We know just nothing about the Fritz, so I want to.
It's just a word.
Yeah, I want to get back to Star is in some aspects even more obfuscating with its mythology than Steven Universe. I want to get back to Moon and potentially Toffee here. So, Alex, I have an initial question, which is: do we know definitively anything about Toffee being in the Moon flashback?
No.
Right. So it's just a tie to what we saw in Into the Wand.
Right,
yeah.
Right. And
so Into the Wand we see the portrait, the finger, the shocking moment, and it's we see the spell or something, and then there's another spell here. What's your general speculation, Alex, about how Toffee would factor into any potential Moon flashback?
Well, just that because of the war, I assume happened at some point, with Moon or before Moon. I don't think we even know who did that one. But Toffee probably is facing off against Moon, and I guess it gets to the point where Moon just doesn't have anywhere else to go, and she uses this dark spell. Maybe she learned it from Eclipse, who knows. And because I would imagine that that's the only enemy that she would face that would require her to get that far. Because at least from what we know of Moon so far, it doesn't seem that she'd get to that point without being her hand being forced. At least from what I've seen of Moon so far. But
interesting. Yeah. April, what are your thoughts on how Toffee's going to factor into the Moon stuff?
Factor in, at least into terms of the flashback, I think they'll have to address the point or the fact that Moon and Toffee were, I guess, adversaries at some point. And I'm sure, I don't think we would dig into Moon's past if Toffee wasn't related, because as of right now, Toffee is Star's greatest enemy. So it would only make sense unless they really want to beat around the bush in terms of where Toffee plays into all of this. So my guess is that some past relationship with Moon, whether they were friends, now enemies, or what.
You think you're going to be you think it's going to be the allies now, then Toffee betrays or something?
Yeah, that or it. I think I discussed it in the Moon podcast that we had done, but essentially, something happened between Moon and Toffee to get Toffee to this point, which is also why we're going into the darkest spell, as it's so called, from Moon the Undaunted, and it. I don't think there's any way that they're not related. So
yeah. Delaney, any pressing Toffee Moon theories?
Well, we've talked about before about Toffee being related to Eclipse in this kind of actual familial sense. And it'd be I don't know, it'd be kind of fun and ridiculous. It's Toffee's your cousin. Just something ridiculous. They're from a different, is he specifically from that other planet, or do we know he's part of that race from that other planet? I can't remember. The other realm or nonsense, right?
Yeah. He's the Manticore race. Yeah. I don't remember planet-wise.
Is he?
I think the book said that he was the same race. as the Manticore.
Right,
and they're from like a specific planet.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it does mention another planet. So I mean, that's where they originate. It's not clear whether Toffee's like I said.
Right. There's no. I mean, we don't know. Like, there's no telling. But I don't know. I personally like nonsense like that. I mean, that kind of also makes the most sense too. With like, I don't know. That's just kind of the vibe I get from like Star. Like, it just be kind of like there's just something absolutely absurd, and that's why all of this is happening. Like. I mean, it would also make sense too, like this kind of like, fight over the throne, and this more kind of like also that would make it more interesting in this, like there's actual he has a real like connection to the throne, a real like he has a right to the throne, as opposed to he just wants to take over the world or whatever. So
go ahead, finish.
So I would just think that's like cool or whatever. I don't know. I don't know, the allies betray thing, maybe even like sparring partners growing up together or like whatever. Just I am excited though, and I'm surprised Dylan hasn't said more about this. It's just this like when we go into Moon's past, we're obviously gonna have to go into Toffee's. Like they're obviously like interwoven. So like it'll be really interesting to see how all of that plays out.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to see what's up with Toffee before. Is Toffee in the Moon flashback like a kid, or is he just eternal and still Toffee?
Small lizard.
Yeah.
Tiny lizard man.
Yeah.
He wears a mullet in the past.
Oh my god. Something like that, right? We need to designate him being old. Yeah, I think so. April, what was your reaction to Delaney stuff?
Oh, well, because I know I've seen a lot of, aside from, the Moon X Toffee theory, a lot of like Toffee is Eclipse's like son, and so he would therefore be like an heir to the throne. But a lot of the times people with that theory, and I'm not saying anything against Delaney because she's wonderful, but they're a matriarchy. So even if like, they're a matriarchy.
No, that's a good point. Like, I wasn't thinking about that.
Yeah, so, that's what I immediately, think of every time, I see that theory is, I'm like, yeah, but it's a matriarchy, so he would never have the right to the wand.
It's
simply because...
Granted, they can always pull out some nonsense, like some ancient law or some, ridiculous nonsense.
It's possible if you kill all the females, then, maybe that counts. Maybe he'll only be, he don't, for, ancient Europe, monarchies, queens daughters are only in line if the sons don't pan out, right? It's possible that's a thing,
right? But so because also didn't Eclipse have, she had I'm assuming a king or a husband before her monster lover, and so possibly
we also don't really know the real connection with Eclipse either. We don't did they even refer to Eclipse as a great grandmother? She could be an aunt.
I think they mentioned it at one point, but I can't remember what it is. But
that would play into the relation too. No, I just completely forgot about the matriarchy thing. Thank you for calling me out. I just forgot.
I was like, oh, I feel bad. I'm going to call you out on this.
No, I think it's some sort of Toffee regaining control or taking control. It's all related. Whatever.
It could have something to do with the Magic High Council too. I don't think Moon's position as Queen of Mewni is why she's on the Magic High Council.
No, I don't.
But it could be. But
I was definitely under the impression that that's why she was. But yeah, I mean, we don't really know. Maybe.
I mean, we've had discussions back and forth because we know Mewni's kind of the center of the magical universe.
Maybe. Oh wait, no. I forgot the book said this. I don't remember. But it's
it's funny because the matriarchy thing is I've discussed at length, and I think I've talked about it being a matriarchy, and I just forgot.
Yeah, the quickly presenting the Moon X Toffee thing, Eclipse the situation, scorned lovers, Toffee tries for a power grab or something like that, or maybe it's super dramatic. It's happening. Just saying, no.
Just basic revenge. It's a magical artifact.
It could,
maybe they could have stolen. I mean, also the monster war, maybe the royal family of Mewni has stolen something, or they have something that is not theirs originally.
Maybe Mewni used to be actually run by monsters, and then
and that's the thing that
came about.
And the thing is, we don't even know when the war actually happened in this chronology. So it could very well be that Eclipse and the monster, it was the only reason that was a problem was that it was a taboo and the war didn't happen till later. Who knows?
Yeah.
And it was an ongoing thing until Moon showed up and vanquished Toffee, who was the leader of the monster people before then. Something along those lines. I mean, there's a lot to be interpreted.
And Ludo's family, like they have like they're royal of some sort. Like they're noble at least.
Yeah. Ludo's family's going to factor into this. There's other royalty on Mewni, it's just nothing's, we don't really know anything works. But...
we need more answers.
Magical feudal Europe, basically.
Right, yeah, which is, Mewni consists of kingdoms, but they're all part of, so it's like also how do the pony heads and like the, everything else, and the demons factor in, which they're all on, all technically on Mewni, as we learned in the book. Alex, any thoughts on how this spell that is being said during the promo factors into all of what we're talking about here?
Well, just that I guess Moon figures that that's the only way, the only thing she knows that's powerful enough to stop Toffee. So I'm guessing Toffee was already as powerful as we see him as we saw him in Storm the Castle, maybe. But so I guess it would just be that she learned it from the spell book, maybe from Eclipse herself, who knows, and she found that was the only way to do it.
Yeah, so we get the parallel of Moon also going down the dark magic route, and with her wand being infected with the darkness. So that's gonna
plot twist. Moon made it up.
Ooh.
Moon made up the dark magic.
Or that spell specifically.
Oh yeah. That'd be pretty interesting. So more
because Star makes up spells. So
right, yeah. Actually, that was specifically mentioned. Yeah. So I could see that definitely factoring in.
Also, I want her cute spell book to make another appearance, please.
Yeah, more stars. I agree.
Her little notebook.
I agree
with glitter.
So more parallels between Moon and Star, I think, are definitely going to be welcome. Grey Delisle voicing young Moon, yes or no? I don't know.
Always
probably,
yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Lots of vocal range on Grey Delisle, so.
Like, why not?
Okay. I'll ask for more things at the end, but last major question I have: where's Marco?
On Earth.
Okay, down the line. Any Marco appearances in the first 4 episodes? Alex?
A cameo, maybe in the 3rd episode.
Okay, very specific. Delaney?
Okay, as much as I would like Marco being like integral and like a really awesome, like doing something really cool, I kind of agree with the cameo thing. I can kind of see maybe like Star writing him a letter or something, or maybe, granted, I still kind of like the idea of him like portal, like, he's using the scissors and jumping like through places trying to get there and like doing whatever he can trying to find them. But I think like cameo, like letter, like he won't be on Mewni.
Korra alone, Korrasami Starco parallels. Yes, let's do it. Okay.
Yes, always.
Let's still do that. April, Marco, yes or no?
If he's going to be there, it's going to be either super brief or it's literally going to be like, oh, I think I saw Marco, and then that'll be it.
Okay.
Yes.
Interesting.
Because Marco has no place on Mewni. Like, this isn't, I don't know. I feel like this sort of whatever, the marketing, the way that they're marketing it, there's just no place for Marco in this scenario.
Okay, I will take the opposite viewpoint here. We have 4 long episodes to get through here. Marco will dimensional scissors in episode 4 to aid Star at the end of the battle, and then they will win, and then Star and Marco will kiss, and then the series ends. There you go. That's what's gonna happen.
Or Marco has no idea what's happened, and they still kiss.
Yeah, and then something involving a Starco kiss. Yeah, that's my theory. Okay, I think that's what's happening. So.
Yeah, no. Wish list theory, same thing.
Yeah, so I mean, no, Marco could show up. Like if Star's just on Mewni, then Marco's gonna know, gonna think to go there. So I think that could happen.
He goes and gets punted, and then like nonsense happens.
Yeah. One thing I'm not clear on is like how Star and Moon hiding out factors into this. Like, why would they be in Mewni? Are they in Mewni? Like, I'm interested to see how that plays in.
Well, it also could be one of those. It's kind of like, in Harry Potter we have like the extended camping trip, and we could have this like they're actually hiding and all this stuff's happening, but then like we arrive at Mewni, like all this stuff's kind of happening on Mewni, like they're invading, there's all this fighting, but they're hiding elsewhere, like either elsewhere on Mewni or they're in like other, like they're elsewhere, and then like everything leads back to Mewni, like they have like the final battle, they have to go back to Mewni.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I doubt that they would go to the castle first. They need to like hide in the surroundings. And that would make it much more difficult for Marco to find them. It's not like Star left a map, I don't think.
It's definitely possible.
Can use all his knowledge from running with scissors.
Yeah, I mean, he's biologically like 40, so or whatever, like so it's definitely possible that Ludo attacks Mewni Castle without Star being there. So that should be factored in. Harry Potter camping trip. So we're gonna get the Harry and Hermione dance, but with Star and Marco. That's my prediction. Okay.
But it's like actually,
but it's like actually romantic and like for a canon ship. Yeah.
Let's just take everything from Harry Potter, put it into put Star characters, and then we're good.
That's what I mean. Delaney's on the podcast, like that's gonna happen. Like that, yeah.
Like, obviously, 100%.
Yeah. Okay.
No, I'm not saying I don't want it.
Yes, let's just throw Starko in. And also let's get Heckboo back to life. Let's do that. So
let's get all of the High Commission back to life.
I mean,
I want that.
Yeah.
Do we want?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, like we can, we can leave. Okay, that's.
I mean, my son Romulus.
That's mean to Goat Grandpa. I mean, Goat Grandpa's anyone. So.
Give him a voice box, and I'm fine.
Right, I agree. Yeah,
there we go.
Alex, any big theories that you've seen that have not been discussed yet?
Not really. The one thing that we haven't touched on yet is that really at the beginning of the trailer, you see like a monster foot coming down, and I'm just trying to think: have we seen other monsters besides Toffee and the Rasticore, and like where would Ludo or Toffee or wherever that is, where would it come from? I haven't seen many theories on that, and I have no clue on who it is, what it is, or what context it is at all.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's a lot of random monsters in season 1 working for Ludo.
Nothing that big, though.
We really haven't seen anything that big. I agree. But
it could also be in hiding.
Yeah,
I mean, they were driven from.
It's a troll or something.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm sure maybe it's probably just like a monster coming out of hiding that we haven't necessarily seen yet.
And that would lend credence to the theory that this is Toffee somehow getting an army of monsters together to...
It's Voldemort getting the giants.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they're holding down Hogwarts, a.k.a. the Royal Castle.
Yeah.
And especially taking advantage of now that there is the Fritz, so there's a weakness in Mewni, so they take advantage and go in now.
Yeah, I love tying in the monster rebellion here, like the whole monsters versus monster disenfranchisement plot. It seems a lot to tie in everything. Like we're kind of trying to tie in all of the plot elements of Star, and this is just the beginning of the season, so I assume that not all of this will be as neat as we are saying, but
well, there could be a lot of ramifications for it. Like Toffee unites all the monsters, and then like Toffee loses or whatever, or the royal family is displaced, but then we still have to deal with like Toffee. Let's say Toffee's defeated. Well, we still have to deal with like all these monsters, and like they have like legitimate issues and concerns that need to be addressed.
Yeah.
And this is 88 minutes of content, so you're going to have a lot of... I feel like there is time to fit all of that if that's their intent.
Yeah, if this is all plot stuff.
But that could also be like... This could also be stuff... This could be fallout for the rest of the season, though, too. Like, dealing with the monsters and, like, that kind
maybe
of
they
thing.
are just going to bring everything to a head and then change the direction. Like, maybe that's possible. And if it's 88 minutes of plot, like, for Star, that's unheard of. Like, 88 straight minutes of plot. So, it's...
I was going to say... It could also be just another one of those situations where they're using these 88 minutes to set up what the new Mewni is going to be when we pick up season 3 in fall. So, like these...
Yeah, I mean, again, assumptions that it's a natural divide, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it could even be one of those things where, they're calling it the Battle for Mewni, but maybe it's one of those things where this entire, event just sets up the fact that Mewni is now taken over by monsters and Toffee/Ludo, and then they leave us with that, and then we have to wait to figure out where exactly it goes from there, and then that's season 3, or that's the rest of season 3.
It's possible. Yeah, we changed the dynamic up. That'd be interesting. One thing I didn't mention, I wouldn't take too much into the title of Battle for Mewni. I wouldn't assume that all 4 episodes relate to the Battle of Mewni. That could be one episode. That could be like not even related to anything that's happening.
Like
just a catchy title like Wanda.
Right, like this is a Disney XD made title. This is not Darren making this title. So this is like, this could have nothing to do with anything. These 4 episodes might not like tie neatly together in like, one like battle event. Like I'd assume that's not the case. We will see. April, last theories?
No, I think I feel really good about the magic glitch being caused by Star, and Moon and Toffee being something in the past, and I kind of am enjoying, or I feel it's more plausible that it's going to end up being where they're setting up the new world that Star is now going to be living in Mewni, where monsters rule and they're in hiding kind of situation. So, but I'm excited nonetheless. Dark Star,
yeah. I'd be surprised. If it happened right away. But yeah, that'd be
yeah.
Delaney, last theories.
I guess I'm just really like, no, I'm really kind of, it's like in Ruby when like everything just like blew up. Granted, I want it to like not be awful like Ruby, but
don't separate
let's just
Star
break everybody.
and Marco. No, don't do it.
No, I don't want them to be separated. I just mean everything goes bad, like everything goes wrong, and like we lose, and then like. Then we have some we have some stuff and like plot. Those are Delaney's really articulate thoughts.
Plot. Yeah, I'm not as convinced that this will be like a game changing 4 episodes. I'd more expect a life. Well, it could be life changing and not game changing. I mean, if there's like a Stark, okay, so it'd be life changing regardless. But it's still like I'd more expect something like Delaney's original, like first presented thought of at the end of this we'll revert to Star on Earth. I don't know if it'll be that neat, but I'd expect some kind of return to status quo at some point in season 3. Like, we're not just going to magically shift into a super plot heavy show. Like, it could gradually happen, but I'd be pretty surprised if we go from like these random episodes in the Starbrary to like this plot intensive show. Like, some sort of status quo I think can be reached here. And yeah, we will see. We have very little info, and we still speculated for an hour anyway. So, we'll let us know what you thought on any of our thoughts here, and hopefully we'll start to get some more information as we count down about a month and a half until Battle for Mewni. We'll have full coverage of that here in the Overly Animated podcast. You can check us out at overlyanimated.com. You can subscribe to us on iTunes, overlyanimated.com/iTunes, and consider supporting us at Patreon, patreon.com/overlyanimated. Thank you very much to all of our patrons, especially our patron of the podcast, Taylor, aka Needle. Thank you very much, Taylor, for your support as always. And thanks as always to our patron executive producers, John, Ryan, Steve, and Alex. Let us know thoughts. Tell me somehow how the Starco will play in, because I know it needs to happen. And, will we see anyone on Earth? I assume there's some people saying, what about Jackie? Will we see Jackie? That's not, not top of my, not top of my, Jana. Yeah. What about Jana? I mean, I guess Jana's more likely than Jackie, but,
hashtag Team
Darren
Moon.
ran this poll on Twitter. What's your favorite female non-Star character and your favorite male non-Marco character? Jana won the female poll, so I just like I'd like to think that Darren was inspired by listening to our top Star characters podcast, but maybe not. But
also Hekapu wasn't included in that poll, so that poll is invalid.
I agree with that. Yes, I agree. I probably would have voted for Jana anyway, but like that would have been a tough decision, right? So.
What about the guy?
I think Tom won, but duh. So.
Okay, no, I don't care anymore. All right. Why did
I'm pretty sure Tom.
It was not a blowout victory though. So.
No.
Okay, so thank you guys very much for listening, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Adios, Moonfee.
Oh no.